Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chandler Gibson, and welcome to Split Screen Gamers, where me and my man David Piersaul are going to talk about the greatest and latest news on the video game industry. What's up, David?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. Um, what you been up to, dude?
Dude, um, just chilling, bro. Honestly, I tried to download Dragon Quest, but I didn't do it yet because it costs $2.99.
$2.99. It's too expensive.
Yeah, I'll spend $65 on a brand new game, but
For
on a, but
$2.99,
$2.99 I can't do it, boss.
dude. Do you listen to or watch any Dave Chappelle's stand-ups and
Actually,
stuff?
I'm not a huge fan of Dave Chappelle, but I did watch the most recent one. Have you seen that?
Yeah, Sticks and Stones.
Yeah, that one is pretty good, bro. He's holding no punches on that.
Oh my god, dude. You know, that whole 299 situation you have there, bro, reminds me of whenever his dad was all supportive of like him like, attending like these school functions and stuff, but then when Dave Chappelle said like he wanted to go to the school prom, but he needed money, but like his dad was like, "How much does it cost?" And Dave Chappelle was like $3, and his dad was like, "No, no, son. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We can't do that. We cannot do that." And Dave Chappelle's like, "Why do we own this house? Why do
That's
we
so
own
true. That's
it?"
so true, bro. It's like we'll spend like it's crazy. We'll spend like 10 to 20 bucks on like a meal at like Zaxby's or something,
Yeah,
and we won't even spend like 1.99 for an app that like will change our everyday life.
dude. Speaking about food, like straight up, I would spend more money on like my lunches than like to buy like a ticket to something. It's really weird.
I know,
I
right?
guess it's just like that human instinct of actually wanting to like get like self gratification by eating something real good. So,
I don't know. But what about you, bro? What you been up to?
uh, nothing much, man. Just been working a lot. I've been editing films and stuff. But I one of our probably our like first topic we're probably gonna talk about is this Hong Kong Hearthstone player that recently got banned from entering in any more tournaments, and who actually won a tournament, but his reward money, or the reward prize better yet, and like his title were all like scrapped away or taken away by Blizzard Entertainment because of some comments against the Chinese regime. And I
First of all,
just
man, let me talk about how scary that is. Like, that's
yeah,
it's pretty crazy, man. Because Blizzard is it's a U.S. company, right?
yeah, it's a
So
U.S.
like the
company.
fact that like we're letting the Chinese government based off ownership and based off their percentage that they have as far as their player base, it's like
Yeah,
they're letting that dictate their censorship of the video
yeah,
game industry is like nuts, man. Like, and we're an American company. Like, people are in the U.S. are like offended all the time, and
yeah.
that usually doesn't affect companies. I mean, unless it's on a mass scale. But like, come on now, like you're letting the Chinese government and what they say dictate, or what a guy said online dictate whether someone. First of all, and they didn't like reduct his payment. I was reading that they fined him for the exact amount that he won.
Wait, they find it? Really? I
Yeah.
thought they took his pay. Wow,
No, so they just
that's
fined him, and then it just so happened, quote unquote, to be the same amount that he got paid out to for winning the contest.
well, like originally they banned him for an entire year, but then when all this controversy was started, they were like, "Oh crap, we need to be a little bit lighter." So they banned him for 6 months, and not only that they banned him for 6 months, I mean, sent 6 months, but the broadcasters who were broadcasting that event actually like stated like his comments and stuff, and so they were banned for 6 months too. So like some highlights and stuff. It's weird. It's really scary, and it's really weird.
It's really scary
And
and weird, and it's also like whether you believe what's going on and with the protests and stuff in Hong Kong and stuff like that. Like, this kid, man, like he is skilled at what he does. And
Yeah.
at this point, if you don't consider gaming a profession, then whatever. I don't want to hear from it. Like, it's a profession. People are winning major like pots of money
Yeah.
in
Esports.
these esport tournaments, and it's a profession, man. And people are really good at it. And this kid, the same way that Colin Kaepernick had a platform, the same way that anybody who says something on the Oscars, the Grammys, has a platform to say something. This kid spoke out, and now you're gonna encourage censorship over that? Come on now, like
Yeah.
that makes me lose a little respect over Blizzard. And you notice that they redacted it a little bit though. Have you seen that?
A little bit.
They knocked
Like,
down the suspension on his they knocked down his suspension by 6 months. So now rather than a year, it's only
yeah, I
six
said
months.
that. I said that.
Oh, I didn't hear you. My bad.
Oh, you're fine, dude. Um, but like, what was I gonna say? Um, but it's kind of ironic because literally one of Blizzard's key principles at their company is respecting each other's freedom of speech and voice. So it's like for them to like ban a player from entering any more Hearthstone tournaments or any Blizzard related events is kind of absurd. And so what I heard, and this is an article that I read, was that somebody after the outcry, somebody literally vandalized a statue in one of their HQ facilities over in Hong Kong because they have one over there, and they have all these statues that represents one key idea for their company, and they vandalized the one that was about respecting each other's voices and stuff and speech. So it's
How
like,
ironic.
yeah, it's like, but man, if I was that guy, like I feel bad because you have to think like he spends hours and hours practicing his skills and stuff in that game because Hearthstone's a hard game whenever you're facing somebody that's better than you.
Mm-hmm. And it's like the kid won $10,000, man. Like I wonder if he and to I want to hear. I wish I could look in more into what his thoughts on it are because he knows what he did, man. He knows what he put himself. He kind of put himself in danger, man. Like
Oh yeah,
what they got going on over there in the Chinese government and like all that control that they have, and now
it's
they're
kind
trying
of
to
like with Tankman.
yeah, and now
Sorry.
like they have so much control, man, and now they're trying to censor like video game like voices now too. Like, come on now, like
Yeah,
they got to chill
but
out, bro. Like, we all know
yeah,
what's going on. We all know like how there's like an unprecedented amount of like it's almost like dictatorship in the government like going on over there in China, and like the least
yeah,
thing we want to hear about this in our gaming industry. Like, I'm all for having a voice and doing all that stuff, and that's cool. Like, do that. It's like, but we don't need these governments coming in here telling us
and
like,
censoring shit.
yeah, esports is already on the up and coming as it is, and it's always has this stigma of being like this goofy, like corny type of like gaming part of the gaming. Like gaming is always it
Yeah,
has a stigma. It's just now the tide is just now changing that gaming can be considered like a profession or can be considered a actual hobby that means something rather than just like a dork nerd lazy whatever the stigma used to be. Now it's like
yeah.
it's the tide is finally coming over, and like people are starting to see it like that, and this is only going to make it worse. That's just so frustrating, you know what I mean?
Well, video games are considered like an addiction to it is considered a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's considered that because of how many hours one person would play on a video game and how many days straight he would spend on it. So,
Yeah,
and
but the thing is like
yeah,
this that same type of now this is another subject. We can go on this forever. I'm trying to think how to make it short and sweet, but would that not like there obviously there's a fine line between obsessiveness slash addiction other
yeah,
than just like loving what you do. Um,
yeah,
I think it's like if you have other priorities, say like for me, man, I have to make money doing other things in my career, which is filmmaking, and
same here.
I don't have time to like play games all the time, so I can't play as much as I would like. I would play games all the time if I could, right?
Yeah,
Then it's like it becomes an it becomes addictive if you start to let that get ahead of what your priorities in life are. But if someone is like playing games all the time, but they're still handling business, but they want to play it all in their free time too, that's not an addiction, man. They just love it. Like it's
yeah,
not a mental illness, bro. Like you don't say that to the guy when kids are like in high school when there's kids who definitely cared much more about football or basketball or soccer or swimming,
You don't
wrestling.
call that.
You
You
always,
don't
yeah,
call
you
that
just
a
say,
mental
oh, they need to
illness.
focus on their school, but it's like, dude, all they want to do is play basketball, football, wrestling,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, you don't call that a mental illness, but why is video games a mental illness? Because I'm sitting in my room eating Cheez-Its? Like, come on now.
Jesus, come on, damn it.
It's just that's what people who don't know anything about the industry, that's how they view people like me and you when we're playing games. They're like, wow, this dude's just eating cheese puffs, like playing the game like online, like,
Yeah,
and
he's just getting fat. That's all he's
and that's not
doing.
that's not the case, bro. Like I
Yeah.
just got back from a workout just a second ago, and I can still go in
There you
there.
go.
I can still go in there and play League of Legends and have a blast and nerd out as well. Like, come on, dude. It's like the stigma's changing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with skateboarding back in the past. Remember, skateboarding used to be like this toy, and now it's like it's considered like a culture. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's the same thing. It's like, come on, dude. People got to get their heads, for lack of a better term, get their heads out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand, bro.
Anyways, you got me going. I got you get me fired up.
Dude, hey, that's what I'm here for. Getting you all fired up and stuff.
You ready?
But yeah, I agree with you. I don't really think video games is a mental illness. It's just kind of funny how video games are always targeted for situations like for violence. I mean, that's a topic on its own, and we're not trying to get into that. We can talk about that in another podcast, but it's just funny how video games are always like victimized.
I know.
Yeah.
I know they're always
But
victimized, and they're always like I think, you know what I think it is, and I think and this is something that I need to put more thought into, but I'm just gonna say it because why not, right?
yeah.
And maybe my mind will change later, but I think it's very similar to how people view YouTubers.
Yes.
They consider it like almost a threat.
Well,
Like
there was
it's a
this,
threat to media. Go ahead.
yeah. There was I forget which magazine it was, but PewDiePie, you know PewDiePie.
My guy, I love PewDiePie, bro.
Yeah, dude. But pretty much he got like on the front cover of some like fashion or like celebrity magazine, and the thing was like
Talking about the X?
yeah, I think that's what it was.
With the white background, and they had like an X put over him.
Yeah,
And he didn't even
that
realize it.
one.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah, he didn't realize it. But like you see like all these past issues where it's like well-groomed men and women wearing nice dresses and stuff and like suits and whatever, but he's just on a white background with an X over him. It was like, what?
Yeah, like I hate that junk, man. There's like it's a threat, bro. Like these YouTubers, like first of all, let me go back to what I was talking about. Like these YouTubers, bro, like it's a threat to the media because it's self-made. They don't like obviously like we don't have a production house. We're doing it in our home. It's just about hard work and editing, and also it's getting hella views, and we're getting paid advertisements and making hella ad revenue off of it, right? For these YouTubers, right? And people like me and you who like subscribe to famous YouTubers and stuff like that, we spend more time on YouTube rather than on channels or any network or Netflix and Hulu, and it's a threat. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I think video games are the same thing, man. I think it's the same exact thing. I think people like I'm trying to find the best way to word it, but like people are starting to realize that like there's actually career opportunities rather than being a developer or being a journalist or being a publisher or being a producer, a manager for these companies. There's actually career opportunities as playing video games.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like that's the stigma. That's where the stigma starts. Is like people are just like, what is this? Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate that.
I
Man.
understand.
I hate that, man. And I got people like in my personal life who act like that, and I'm just
Same
like,
here.
and you know what I say?
What?
I go, all right, man. I'll talk to you later once I get done with this match, and I hang up the phone.
Yeah.
I'll play
There
video
you
games if I
go.
want to. I'll play video games if I want to, and if you want to go race me, I'll still beat you as well.
There you
You
go.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You could be a sports guy and also be a video game guy, man. Like, come on, get out of here.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
But-
man, the Blizzard thing's crazy. I can't believe they defaced like a statue dog.
Oh, dude. I mean, I would too, and like, you know, if I had to pick a side, I would pick Hong Kong over China any day. But the thing about Blizzard and the thing about most companies in general, not just in the video game industry, but in like movies, because you hear about like how China only lets in like 60 something foreign films into their own theaters, right?
Right.
and it's really hard to get in because you have to meet all these criterias and stuff. But the reason why like America films or cinemas or production houses want to get their movies into China's market is because like they'll get a higher like profit out of there and whatnot. And I feel like that's the same thing with video games. It's like they want to protect their market that they're already in China, so they'll get like a bigger profit.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Blizzard has like an insanely large market in China, right?
Oh my god, it's huge. Like StarCraft? Have you seen StarCraft tournaments? They are huge. They will literally like buy out an arena to have them there and stuff. And not just there, but South Korea too. Like there's a lot of talented players in South Korea. But it's StarCraft and I want to say Overwatch. Overwatch is pretty big over there too. I don't know about World of Warcraft because they have so many MMOs over there that's been made in China that another one would just be a little too saturated. But I know for a fact that StarCraft is huge over there and Overwatch
Well, also,
and Hearthstone.
also like Tencent. Man,
Tencent.
I was looking this up earlier, but Tencent is the largest video game company, and it's
Really?
it's Chinese. It's pretty much a Chinese conglomerate.
What games have they made?
So first of all, they own 40% of Fortnite.
Really?
40%, bro.
40%.
40%. Look, let me see.
Huh.
This is from what is this website? This is from VentureBeat.com.
Okay.
It says Tencent is the largest video game company. The Chinese media conglomerate owns 5% of Activision Blizzard, Blizzard's corporate parent. In order to release your games in China, you need to work with Chinese companies. For Blizzard also has a partnership with NetEase, a Chinese company that operates its games in the country. And it says Tencent also owns the digital streaming rights for the NBA. After Mori's now deleted tweet, Tencent announced that it is temporarily suspending its NBA preseason. They own. Look, the headline of this is "Keep China Happy at All Costs." They have this.
Keep China happy.
Dude,
at
they have
all
this like
costs.
they have this conglomerate, man. Like, and people are like trying to feed into it because like it's so huge. I mean, they own, like I said, they acquire a 40% stake of Fortnite, which we know the guys
Huge.
over at Epic Games are making hella cash.
Oh, cash. Oh my God. There's no question. And thank God for China because that's why they're making that much money.
Right, and people,
Straight up.
even though it's 5% of Activision Blizzard, that five
Yeah.
that 5%, dude, in the grand scheme of like their income, is probably a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 5%
Yeah.
is like, that's a lot of money to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I can't believe that. I didn't realize they were that big.
Let me see. Let's see. I'm gonna look up something real quick.
Okay.
They own, dang dude, they own
What?
League of Legends,
Oh my God.
Honor of Kings, Arena of Valor,
League of Legends is
Player Unknown
huge.
Battlegrounds Mobile,
That's huge too.
Clash Royale, and Clash of Clans. Jeez, and they also
That-
they own a 40% stake of Epic Games. Um, let's see, they own FIFA Online. Jeez, man.
My God.
They publish these things, and they publish Rainbow Six Siege, blah, 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 Rainbow Six Siege. They publish that, dude. They're huge.
Yeah.
Long story short, they're huge, and they're making these
is-
companies a lot of money in the U.S. And the U.S. are making like keeping China happy.
Yeah, keeping China happy. Well, it's the same thing with Walt Disney too, because you know about the whole Winnie the Pooh situation with their leader.
No, what?
Okay, so somebody posted a picture online, and pretty much it was a picture of the Chinese leader. I can't remember his name, with this other dude, like this high official guy, and it's pretty much like a handshake or like a sign of respect. And so somebody made an illustration with Eeyore and Winnie the Pooh as the leader of China, and somebody pointed out that Winnie the Pooh and the Chinese leader look alike, and so
Oh,
China
man.
got got caught of this and were like informed the leader. He was like, hey, somebody is insulting you by comparing you to a toy bear, and pretty much Winnie the Pooh's banned from China for life.
So stupid,
Or
man.
it's so stupid.
And that's not even
But
like. And this is like another a talk for another day, and not for this podcast. But it's just scary to think, man, that some people live in this like these governments like North Korea, where like people like
they don't know anything.
yeah, they don't know anything, and the leaders think like that. Like they think like,
Yeah.
we'll just ban it. Like,
Yeah,
oh
and
my gosh.
oh, well, a lot of people from North Korea don't even know if that there was a man on the moon.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like stuff like that, it's just kind of scary because they go there. They'll live and die with that mind state, and it's scary, man. Because like knowledge, we deserve to know this stuff. Everyone, as humans, deserves to know this stuff.
Yeah, regardless if you're against a particular
Ideology
group
or
of
philosophy.
yeah. But going back to the Blizzard situation, you know what I'm surprised about Blizzard not doing?
What?
So, like, they're a subsidiary to Activision. And you know what else was a subsidiary to Activision? Bungie. But here's the thing. Bungie left because they got big. But Blizzard's been big for so many years now that I'm surprised they haven't left.
I want to look into that because there's probably some pretty valid reasons as to why they didn't.
Yeah,
Being
I
that
think
they're as big as you're saying they are. I mean, they are big. I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
I wonder what their reasoning behind that is.
I want to look into that like on a different note or a different time, but like a theory that I have is the fact that they're so entangled with Activision and the fact that, they have a bigger market in China that they probably don't want to leave that. But I feel like there's also contracts in place where they can't leave. And whenever Bungie was working for Activision, they probably didn't sign those same contracts. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I just need to look that up real quick or some other time. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. And man, the gaming, man. There's so much going on in gaming and right now, and like, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
I can't remember what game it was. It was I think it's some game made by dude. You might know more about this than I do because I can't remember what game because I never played it. But there was this game where there was like a poster that they found in the house or like somewhere in the game that like mocked the Chinese president. Remember that? And the game got banned.
Yes, I've heard about this. I can't remember which game it was though. It was some indie title, I think.
It was an indie title. Here, let me do a quick little search. Let's see, game mocks. I'm gonna check this out because like I want to make sure we know. Yeah, Taiwanese game mocks Chinese president by Polygon. Let me check this out.
Okay.
Wait, is this This is the Winnie the Pooh one.
Is it? Is it
Devotion?
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
The game in question is Devotion, a horror game that launched on Steam in February 19th. Let's see. Yeah, it was the Winnie the Pooh thing you mentioned, I think. Yeah, by the horror game Devotion. So you already knew, but you just didn't know. It was like you knew one side.
But not the other.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Yeah. But man, there's like we as like people have to realize like I'll stop talking. I'll plead the fifth on the rest of this topic cuz like it's just so frustrating to see like this type of censorship in anybody, man. That guy deserves his prize. He deserves to say what he wants to say.
That's his livelihood.
Yeah, whether you're Chinese or you're US or you're Swedish or whatever, man. We got to be able to talk when we want to talk. That's we as humans have that right, man. We only have like 75 years on this around that to live here.
Yeah.
Like we can say whatever we want, bro. Like get out of here with
dude.
that. You know what I mean?
Well, it goes with like human psychology in that like people get like a high on dominating other people.
Mm-hmm.
In sorts like
and
judging
for money too.
Yeah, and for money too. And like you don't just judge another person because you need to you don't like judge another person like because like you want to help them out. Of course, that's not always the case, and like you do want to help them out, but like some people like to judge other people just so that they get like a sense of dominance over them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a sense of intelligence. Um, but that's a little kind of off topic, but like, um, but yeah, I'm just curious of like how many more times this is gonna happen whenever someone will say something very controversial and
Honestly,
then they'll get banned.
honestly,
I'm curious.
now that we're talking about it, bro, it's not. Is it Chinese? Is it the Chinese government's fault, bro? Like we as the gaming community can't let this stand. We have.
Well, what is sorry,
Go ahead.
but what it really is that it like Blizzard has stated in like their recent reports about like or the recent like stance on the situation, and they're like yeah, China's not an influence on us. I'm like, bull crap, they are an
Yeah,
influence on
whatever.
you have a big market in their economy, like
Right.
come on now. But you were saying, bro?
Bro, like we as the gaming community we can't let this type of stuff stand, man. We got to show so much support for these people who are playing our games. Like as a developer, not as a developer, but as a publisher and as a company, man. Like we got to start showing support. These people play our games. Like I don't know, man. We got to stop letting this stuff stand, dude. We always want to point fingers in other direction. Was like we got to like we as a community got to come together and just start putting a halt to this. You know what I mean? Like
There should
not
be
allowing it, like rather than entertaining it and letting it happen, like going, no, this is not acceptable. Like we come and we join arms in this. Like we will not let people like Blitzchung, that's his name, right?
yeah, Blitzchung.
Yeah, Blitzchung.
What a
Like
name.
go down. I know, like go down for like some bullcrap that he decided he felt like he wanted to talk about, and now he's getting like chastised for it, and he's putting himself in danger, man. Like, and I think that's what kind of is going on in Hong Kong. It's like we're not gonna let this stuff stand, man. But especially as an American company, like our values, dude. Hopefully, I'm relying on human nature that humans are good at heart, and that Blizzard and whatever company that follows it afterwards, just like we as the United States, we don't stand for this, and censorship will not be enforced on our players. It will not be enforced at our tournaments. It will not be enforced in this industry at all, and it will definitely not be enforced just because you own 5% of our company. And if that's the case, then bam, I don't know what to tell you, boss.
You should run for president, dude.
I might have to, dog. I'm for real.
You might have to. Like
Tell
um
tell tell Sony Japan that I'm coming for their steak.
dude, I want their steak so bad. I want their steak and I want Nintendo steak. Straight up.
I'm coming for their throat, bro.
You're coming from their throat.
Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna go for Sony. Sony doesn't even need me. I'm not gonna go for. I'm going to Xbox. I'm gonna pull out so many exclusives for Xbox.
Xbox.
I've been
Screw Sony.
I've been a PlayStation guy for so long. I'm gonna go to Xbox and I'm gonna make PlayStation wish that I'll make them wish that they just had 40 exclusives ready to release in October, because that's what Xbox is gonna do.
Oh
We're gonna have a new triple A 600-hour video game releasing every day in October for the holiday season.
For the holiday seasons.
Bro, we're gonna have kids in Walmart slipping and sliding through the aisles trying to get games, fighting each other.
Oh my god.
Fighting each other.
Dude.
Drop kicking in the chest, caving chest in, bro. Trying to get Xbox games.
Do you ever feel like you spend too much money on one company? You ever feel like that?
Yeah, B&H.
B&H. Oh my god. I can relate, dude.
Spend too much money at B&H, man. But that's more like video gear and stuff, dude. But gaming wise, like
it's Sony for me.
Sony and probably Steam gets way too much of my money.
Because since whenever Valve released Steam, you know how many games they've developed since then?
No.
Maybe like two. Like 2 or 3.
Well, they produced the first Portal, right?
Yeah, they produced the first Portal and the second one. And
that's their only 2 games?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Hang on. Let me look. Let me just see. Since we're on this topic, how many games they've made since they released Steam? Because ever since then, they've been making bank off of Steam. Like there's
can
no
you blame
need
them?
for them. No, I can't blame them, and there's no need for them to ever develop another game in their entire lives.
Nah.
Like zero. Valve, Valve Entertainment. Looking them up. Looking them up. Looking them up.
Looking them up.
Uh, wait, what?
Looking them up.
Looking them up.
We gotta get better at our research.
Dude, I know we're sucking.
I know we gotta pull up some for the listeners. They're like, bro, what are these dudes like? Do they even know about games?
Games? Do they even know what they're talking about?
I promise I'm
Like,
gonna do more research on Xbox.
yeah, I'm probably gonna do more research on Xbox and Microsoft as a company. Bill Gates owns it, kinda,
Yeah.
sorta. Um. So, hang on. Steam. And my phone's Wi-Fi is sucking right now. I'm sorry,
What are you trying to
listeners.
What are you trying to look for? You're trying to look for the what they own.
The I'm trying to look for like the launch date for Steam.
Hold on, let me see. It's Valve, right?
Yeah. We are typing in information.
We can always cut this shorter.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. I forgot they. So okay.
Oh, they launched in 2003.
Wow.
2003. I was what? No way. Huh.
Dude, they have. So they've released Half-Life 2. They've
Yeah.
released Fortress 2, the Orange Box.
That collection, yeah.
Yeah, the
Of
Counter
like,
Strike series,
yeah.
Left 4 Dead series. Oh,
I love Left 4 Dead.
yeah, Left 4 Dead, dude. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, dude. Well,
And
here's
obviously
an
Portal.
yeah. Here's an interesting thing about most of those games, though. Like, there was a prototype. Somebody developed a prototype of one of those games before they initially bought the rights to it, like a developer or somebody. And they pretty much mastered those core mechanics that they liked about that game, and they released it as their own, pretty much.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, because they're truly the only original game that they came up with in the company was Half-Life, like their first game, which is kind
Have you
of
played Half-Life?
oh, dude, hell yes.
I never touched it ever.
It's I understand like why it's such a huge influence on the industry because there's zero cutscenes and the game plays um what's the word? Like major story events plays seamlessly with the gameplay.
Yeah.
That was the first usage of that mechanic. Like everything played seamlessly throughout the entire game slash story.
Could you give me a good example? Because I'm trying to think. Like, is it like what Uncharted 4 did?
Nah, I haven't played Uncharted 4, so I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think. Could you
Like,
give me an example?
There's no cinematic cutscenes. Is
Gotcha.
what I'm saying.
So all
There's no.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that was the first game that implemented that, which I find that to be interesting since that game came out in like '98. So we haven't had that like mechanic for long.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but so I wanna bring us to this section of our show, David. Replay. So replay is basically nostalgic time for us, like thinking back to like creators and like games that we played in our youth and stuff, and kind of reminisce like those types of games and like events that happened in the past and like our thoughts afterwards, you know? Um
Nostalgia. All the
Nostalgia. Yeah.
nostalgic moments in our gaming lives, which everyone has some of those, right?
Oh my god. I don't know anybody that
I
doesn't.
know, right?
So, yeah. But what's something you can remember back to that you find fondly of, you know?
Let's see, cause put me on the spot. Let me think. Okay, so off the jump, bro. Sly Cooper series.
Dude, oh my god, I was just thinking that.
Sly Cooper series, bro.
The Sly Cooper series was the shit.
It
Like
was,
straight
man,
up.
and that it's not like it was so consistently good, bro. That it was like there, you can't tell me there's not one Sly Cooper addition to the series that's like you can say it's trash. There's not one.
Yeah. Even the one that came out for PS3 was good.
Yeah, that's the only one I haven't played, just because I was older and like stuff like that. I need to pick
Yeah.
it up, but like, bro, like I just remember Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, my guy.
Dude, the Thievius Raccoonus. That was the best one.
Yeah, and he had that fox. I think she was a fox that was like his girl, and she was like also kind of slick with it. And then like and they also had like it was I think a hippo. Was it the hippo?
Yeah, the hippo was like the muscles and the turtle.
He was like the machine. He was like
the
the beefy part of the team, and then you had like the
yeah,
tortoise, which was like
the brains.
Oh yeah, the brains. I always, what's funny is it's like almost a. It reminds me of Batman's. What's her name in the Batman series?
Gosh.
I can't remember her
Catwoman?
name. No, not
No.
Catwoman. The woman that he in the wheelchair, James Gordon's daughter. Jim's Gordon's daughter.
Oh.
The one she's in.
Oh.
Yeah, she got crippled by the
Oh.
Joker.
Yes, I remember. She played Batgirl. Um,
I can't remember, but anyway, like it's like he does the same role as she does for Batman, which is like the brains of the operation.
right.
Man, I just love Sly Cooper, man. It's such a good series. Like it's still his picture is still my avatar on PlayStation.
Yeah, I noticed that. I've seen that. Well, like the thing about Sly Cooper, and I find this interesting, but there was like an era in the PlayStation 2's life cycle when PlayStation or like a bunch of like developers for PlayStation were creating these cartoony platforming games for it because of like the success that Nintendo had in their platformers, like with Mario and stuff. Like you had Jack and Dexter, which I
Which is a
love. Jack and
masterpiece.
Dexter, it's such a masterpiece, and Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank
And
is so satisfying.
it is, and it's not even my favorite of the three. Straight up, like I think Sly Cooper's my favorite,
Me too.
and then Jack and Dexter. But sometimes, like I think back, and I like Jack and Dexter a little bit more than Sly Cooper at a given time. But right now, it's Sly Cooper. Just the fact that its focus was more on the stealth aspect and a little bit of the action, but it was more of a stealth game than it was an action game, and a little bit of more of a puzzler. So, but like with Jack and Dexter and Ratchet and Clank, they're all about like attacks and like jumping around and stuff and
Right,
exploring.
right.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah, man. Like like you said, platformers, and then that was like, and this is more PlayStation 3, but then you had like Little Big Planet,
oh, Little Big Planet. I love Little Big
which is
Planet.
great design.
Like, yes, and I just like the fact that you play as a puppet, like a sock puppet
Yeah,
or whatever.
I have some like weird, bro. Like this is kind of crazy, but you remember like how they had that like that. It was almost like it was like first of all, I think it was the first game, not the first game, but I think it was one of the more well executed games where like creators had all like almost all the power, where they could create all these levels and
What was it?
in Little Big Planet, like in
Oh, Little Big Planet.
yeah, like where you
Yeah.
had like these, it had like the creators level, like in GTA you have all these levels, or in Mario Maker you have all these levels, or
Yeah.
it's like that where
Yeah.
and I just remember playing this one. I have some weird like I have some weird like what do you call it? I have some weird kind of weird moments with that game, man, because some people made some weird levels in Little Big Planet. Like
Oh my god.
they had a Jeff the Killer one.
Jeff the Killer.
Remember Jeff the Killer?
Yeah.
They had one where like you had to run from him, which was like so freaky, dude. Like
Oh, yeah.
people go get so creative with those games. But yeah, man, what
Dude.
about you? What's a game that you like that you
go
have
back and think
yeah,
on?
like major nostalgia from?
Man, that's a hard one. I would say Psychonauts. Since we're on the topic of platformers, like Psychonauts is like in my top 15 favorite video games of all time.
It's crazy, man, because like even though we can talk about games all the time, like I feel like we have like you've played like more games in that realm before. Like I haven't played Psychonauts.
Really?
Yeah, like
Oh, dude.
platformers weren't really like I don't know, man. I played like the only platformer I ever played, like the main ones I played were like Mario. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Mario's the big one
Yeah,
though. Yeah. Um um
and Mega
but like
Man.
Mega Man, yeah. Mega Man, it was a platformer, but it was also like a side scroller sometimes.
Yeah, true.
Or arcade-ish. But yeah, Psychonauts like to me was like that was a game because I don't really replay a lot of video games because I don't have the time for it. But I replayed Psychonauts about 3 times because it was so short and like I understood the levels better, you know?
Yeah,
And it's such a cool idea where it's like trippy and stuff where you go into somebody's like mental cognition and stuff, which talk about mental cognition, I've been playing or I beat Persona 5 and that's all about people's mental cognition and stuff. But going back to Psychonauts, um it's just really creative and really goofy and fun because that was a game that was made by Two Fin Productions and
really.
now they're owned, yeah, and now they're owned by Microsoft. But I'm so glad that they made a deal with like Sony to where they could release Psychonauts for the PS4 because or Psychonauts 2 for the PS4 because I'm so hyped for that game. You have no idea, dude. It's kind of the same
Is it?
way
Is it? So it's
where
coming out. When's it coming out for the
it's
listeners?
come it's coming out next year sometime. They haven't put a release date or anything, but it's coming out sometime next year.
Who's it developed by?
And Two Fin
Oh
Productions
yeah, you said that.
and
Okay.
yeah. And you know, my excitement for a sequel to that game was the same exact excitement whenever they announced Red Dead Redemption 2
Yeah, yeah.
because I love the first Red Dead.
Right. It's crazy, man, because like we're a younger podcast duo, and like my nostalgia is like it's not like super old games, man. Like arcade stuff. It's really like honestly like Uncharted One is like very nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
Uncharted One,
Uncharted.
man. I picked so another like what Uncharted One, man. I was at GameStop, right, and my grandpa.
Yeah.
I just mowed the grass and stuff like that. I've been doing it. It was like over this. I can't remember what time of the year it was, but I just mowed the grass and like I got my
Were
grandpa.
you were you
What? Go
Were
ahead.
you one of those Were you one of those kids that like did chores around the house so you guys can like save money to buy video
Oh,
games?
all the time. My parents made me
Oh
work for
yeah.
everything.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah, like they were like, if you want to get a new game, like I would ask for a game. I was like, I wanted to get a new game, and they would like, okay, well, we got some things we need done around the house. So I'd mow the grass,
Yeah.
I'd clean the entire house, I'd wash the dogs, and like cut down like branches and like stuff like that around my grandpa's house, and he would take me to the game store and like buy me a game, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was really cool. Like that was my allowance, and that was few and far. You know what I mean? Like obviously every time I had to do those chores sometimes without any return, which is what you're supposed to do as
Right.
a kid. But every now and then he'd take me to GameStop, and I went to GameStop, and there was no new games out, and my dad was so supportive. My dad was my dad's a super cool dude. He was like, I called him and I was like, I don't know what game to get, and he goes, he was like, and my dad knows nothing about games at all, and he was like, I said there's Uncharted game. My dad's I'm a kid, so I'm in like elementary. I'm like fifth or sixth grade when this happened, man.
Yeah.
I'm just a little dude, and like
Little guy.
yeah, little guy. Was I in fifth grade? Actually, I think I was in like sixth grade. And anyways, I was like at GameStop, and I seen this game. It had this guy with this like gun strap, like X around his back, like, and he had like this really green shirt, and the sleeves were cut off, and he was looking to the left, and he had like a shotgun strapped to his back, and it was like this greenery, like foreign location. It
Yeah.
said Uncharted, right? And I'm like, and
Yeah.
it said Naughty Dog on it, and I'm like, bro, this looks interesting. First of all, the name is cool of the company who made it. Then you got this guy looking like hardcore, bro. And
You know that company
go ahead.
that company also made Jack and
I know.
Dexter.
That's why I was like, okay, yeah, I know this. I've seen this before, and the company's name is cool. And then I was
Yeah.
like, what was it? There was something else. Oh, I had, so I had a GameStop Pro account. You know what I mean? Like where you get like percentage off. I had a Pro account, and like they sent Game Informers to my house all the time, and I would read over them. And I seen that the development of this game was in the middle of the magazine. I was like, this looks like a cool game, and I didn't know if I wanted to get it or not. And I called my dad. I was like, I don't know what game to get. He goes, what about that game you were talking to me about in that magazine? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. I'll try it. So it was like my grandpa bought it for me, and I played it, and I got like 15 minutes into the game, and I was like, whoa. And that's a lot of
It
nostalgia, man, because I just went on it, and I haven't gotten that much into a game. I don't feel like since, man. Like I was so toned.
invested.
I lost myself in the video game, and that's why I think we love me and you, like, and people who play games. Like people don't understand. Like you can lose yourself into these games,
Oh yeah. Like
like The
straight
Last
up,
of
like
Us.
you could. Oh, dude, we can talk about that game all day. But like you can, like most people, it's kind of like the same reason why you go see a movie. It's you want to escape. You want to like experience
Yeah,
the story and like experience like everything else about it and whatnot. And that's the same thing that goes into like video games and like people that play them. They want to escape. They want to enjoy the experience. They want to immerse themselves. A game, since we're on topic about that, a game that I like got emotionally immersive in was probably BioShock Infinite, because I played the first BioShock game and I loved it, and then I played Infinite because I was excited because it was like a spin-off to the first game, and like I beat it in like 3 days.
mm-hmm.
And like I still remember all the story beats to that game to this day. And I'm just like still like, a lot of people criticize the game, but I'm one of those few that's like, nah, this game was more than that, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just me, dude.
No, like
Uh,
I totally understand, and like what was I'm trying to like me and you. I remember you said in the last episode you were talking about like how you're more of a story guy, and I'm the same way. Like, and I think that goes in line with our cinematic background. Like we're filmmakers
yes.
and stuff like that, so we want a good plot, we want a good climax, we want something that we can dig into, and like that's what happens with me, and that's why I like Horizon Zero Dawn and like Last of Us and like Uncharted and I like the Assassin's Creed series because there's so much lore and Witcher and stuff like that, man. And like that's like the epitome of nostalgia, and that's why I like freaking other than it just being so fun and satisfying, like Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper
Oh,
had like
yeah.
a really kind of cool story, man. It was like I'm and going back to what you were saying, like you want to escape. Like I felt like I was really out in like El Dorado, bro. Just like in the Uncharted series, like jumping like these cliffs and like being like this Indiana Jones character, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, I really missed that series. Let me be
Yeah.
the first to say, rest in peace, Uncharted. You had a good life.
Rest,
You had a good
rest in
life.
peace.
I miss you. Hope you come back in another form. But it was your time to go. But I loved you, man.
Dude,
I love you, man.
dude. I loved you, man.
I love you,
Dude,
Drake.
I love you, Drake. Don't leave me. I feel like we're gonna do that in like years later with The Last of Us. I swear to God, we're gonna do
Oh,
that.
I already have nostalgia with the first Last of Us. You know how many times I played that game, right? I
No,
platinumed
how
it.
many times?
I
Really?
platinumed that game.
Oh my God,
Yeah, I played it.
dude.
I've played through it 6 times. I could and on crushing mode because you have to play crushing to get platinum. So
Yeah.
so dude, like if you were to sit down and watch me play that game, I can get. I know exactly where to go, where each character's going to be, whatever you call it. What do you call it? NCP? What is it?
NCPs or NPCs.
NPCs, bro. I know where they're going to
NPCs.
be at each time. Like I know exactly which way to kill them, so it's the most effective. Like, cause I used the strategy guide the first few times, and then after that I memorized it. I know where to get every treasure.
Nice.
Cause after you play it one time, the game is not as long as it seems. It's not long. It's
No.
not long at all, actually. But like, it feels long that
Mhm.
first time because the story is so intricate, and
Yeah.
it's so emotional and so purposeful.
Yeah.
Like that's why I felt that way. And I heard the next Last of Us is supposed to be huge, expansive.
It's supposed to be huge, and it's supposed to be like darker in terms of storytelling. Like the tone's supposed to be like
Yeah.
real emotional and
Oh,
stuff.
Speaking of that, man, I was listening to a developer talk about Uncharted.
Yeah.
And it was the guy who directed the second one, which is revered as like the best one in the series, which I agree with. Have you?
Thieves Among Us,
Yeah.
or is
It
yeah,
was thieves. Honor Among Thieves.
Honor Among
So
Thieves.
like that one
Yes.
is highly opinionated as far as like people think that's the best one, and
Yeah.
he was talking about how like Naughty Dog and the team was always talking about how they wanted to make sure that anybody who picked up an Uncharted, whether it be 1, 2, or 3 or 4, could jump into it and not have to play the previous games. And that's always what they went, and it was like always starting clean. It wasn't like they didn't want to be bounded by limitations of a story.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they're going to take that same mindset into The Last of Us 2.
They might, but like judging from the trailers I've seen of it, dude, it's like it's almost like they're like going back to like previous events and stuff, and like you see all these characters that you saw in the first game that it's almost kind of hard not to bring back like past events, but
Well,
I mean,
but
we'll
yeah,
see.
well,
We'll see. We'll see.
less about like like bringing back past events though, like because even Uncharted would bring back little tidbits, but you didn't have to know those
Yeah.
things to
Nah.
like to play the games. I wonder if because The Last of Us seems like it's definitely about Ellie, right? And
Oh yeah.
whatever happens, and I think they're trying to lead us astray and making us. Have you watched the trailers?
Yeah. I've seen the trailer.
They're trying to deter our predictions by making it seem like that relationship that she has with that girl is like ended by death in like the first like part of the game, and that's what shocks it off. And like we know as people who play the Naughty Dog games and know their writers, and we know how they do it, like it's not going to be that simple of a story. It's
No,
not. There's
it's
something
not.
else that they're leaving out that's going to happen, and I think
Well, it looks like she got brutalized.
something happens, bro.
Something happens. Not kind of coming up with a theory, but something did probably happen.
No, something
So
happened other than like her just getting killed, and then Ellie's like, "I'm gonna kill them all." Like that's just so basic of a story. I know like Neil Druckmann and his team like they got better ideas than that, and they're trying to lead us astray, making it think it's a basic concept, but it's not. And like
yeah,
and man, and like they might throw in the tidbits of like Joel. Joel is obviously gonna be in there because they got to. It has to be addressed the fact that um
we don't see him throughout
yeah
like
what
half of the.
well other than
Yeah.
the big lie that he had at the end of the last one.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That has
Um.
to be addressed at some point. So they might throw it in there. They might do something, but I think most of this is like we have to be all right with like this is going to be Ellie's story, whether we like it or not. Like, and I'm so down for it.
Yeah.
She's good.
Yeah.
I'm also really nervous though. You know why?
Why?
Because you know in the first one when we played as Ellie, how hard it was.
Oh
Bro,
yeah, we did play as Ellie.
she was so
Oh
weak.
my god,
She was
she
so,
was so weak. Well, she's older now, and like she's more
yeah,
experienced.
but but I wonder if she. There's no way she's as strong as Joel though.
No, there's no way. Like that, I would think I would if they do this. I would give them so much credit if they did this. But what if like, and you mentioned this, like, what if she's like weak in this one? Like, what if like she's a little bit better, but she's not as good as Joel
I kind of
was?
like it, and it's
And
scary, but like
yeah,
I kind of like that it's more like Last of Us, man, is challenging,
it is. It is.
especially
Like,
once you take away the assistant, like you play on crushing mode, like it becomes like hard, dude.
yeah,
And the MC, whatever you call them, I keep
NPCs.
the NPCs, man, like they were crazy in the first one, and have you seen like what they're implementing in the new one? Like the
Yeah, they're
NPCs are like super smart.
smart. Yeah, like a little, like the slightest noise you make, they'll pay attention to.
Also,
Like
that
that's how crazy.
bro, oh, I forgot we haven't talked about this at all, but like what I love is like I haven't seen they gave what makes The Last of Us like so like deep and so dark is that you feel for each death. You feel for each character in the story is like
Yeah,
so detrimental. Like, and they did something that like they gave like the NPCs like characters like names. Did you see that?
yeah.
Like they
I
gave
see
them
that.
names. So like if you kill someone of them, like you can hear someone yelling. They're like Dave. They'll be like she killed
Dave.
Dave. They got Dave. And like you're like oh my gosh. And they get more angry and angry. It's like not just like basic. We're like oh there's your dead body and they throw it away and it's like they go back on their
Yeah.
routine.
Boom. You get experience points for that kind of mentality. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I
like,
mean?
dude, like no, like it's like now the NPCs are like it's
Consequential.
consequential, and you're like not killing just like you're not killing just like zombie characters that they do in the game for your pleasure. You're killing like people with
Yeah,
emotions and with families and like, man, I that's another level of deep, and it's almost getting to the point where like I'm starting to I don't know, it's crazy, bro. It's good. It's awesome. I can't wait for it. We gotta wait till
dude.
February.
Dude, yes. Well, I think we're reaching to that hour mark, bro.
That hour
Um,
mark. Here we go. And I really enjoyed the talk today, man. The thing with Blizzard's crazy.
oh
Um,
yeah. This can't be the only time this is gonna happen either. I'm
it
sorry
won't
to
be.
say
It's gonna
that.
blow it. It's gonna go. It's gonna. I mean, we've seen stuff like this before. This, anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's history repeating itself,
Yeah.
and yeah. But I just want to thank the audience for listening to us today. Me and David, we had like fun and stuff. I think this was like a really enjoyable conversation with you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Thanks for man, anybody who's listening. Thank you guys for listening and stuff like that. And if you like the show, man, share it. You know, a lot of people don't
yeah,
understand like what one share with a friend who's interested in games and interested in just cool talks, man, like can do for the show. And also like email us.
yeah,
As well. Like send us an inbox or something like that. Most of the guys listening right now are friends, anyways. We got a lot of things we have to set up as far as email and website and stuff like that. But if you're a friend listening, hit us up. Tell us what you think what you'd like to see from us in the future. We got a lot of things planned, but like if there's something you're like, I want to see this from you guys, like let us know, man. But anyways, thanks for listening for sure.
yeah. Thanks for listening to us, guys. So we're gonna sign off now.
All
So
right,
you
signing
guys
off.
signing off. See you later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.